Yo, what's good? I'm Jeff Weiss.
Rosecrans Vic.
It's your girl Free.
And this is The Truth Hurts. We're sitting here with LaRussell.
You heard?
My
Yeah.
guy.
What's the deal?
What's happening?
Yeah, how you been?
I've been well.
Yeah?
I've been well.
I guess-
really well.
Yeah. Well, first question, I guess, we're from LA, so I always feel like Vallejo is sort of the equivalent of Compton, where it's like a small city, but
Yep.
it has produced like a disproportionate amount of legends. So I guess what's in the soil in Vallejo that has produced so many great artists?
It ain't the soil, it's the water. Something's in the water. I'm on the way.
yeah, right.
Man, it's really being on an island within such a prominent region. Like Vallejo is in the Bay Area, and we added so much sauce to like the culture of the Bay Area, but we're also isolated on our own island, so we have to develop our own identity. You know, we're not Oakland, we're not San Francisco, we're not Berkeley, we're not the major, if you're not from here, those are the places you know, and we're none of those. So we had to develop our own identity, and that just, we created some legends that just got their own sauce.
Yeah. What were you like as a child?
Black. Same. The same. I'm the same version of me now. A lot more bolder and braver, because I've grown into a version of myself that I didn't get to always be as a child. But this version, you see, like the fun and the smile, that it's always really been me.
Yeah. So you grew up like listening to like KMEL and like
Hell yeah, 94.9, KMEL, Chewy Gomez,
So,
Big Von, all them for certain. And it really shaped, we grew up in an era where the radio was king.
It was everything.
On your way to school, your way home, going to your cousin's house, the radio was king. Like that's where you found your favorite songs and everything.
Try to win
So
concert tickets.
man, it was so much culture. It was community. I was talking to someone recently, and I was telling them, like, I think radio is still impactful. And he was like, man, radio is only impactful if you have an artist that can cultivate the community around radio that used to be there. Like KMEL used to mean something. If you see that truck as a Bay Area kid, it's like, oh, that's KME, But now they took all of like the physicality and the community out of radio to where it's just like a playlist.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it can be. I work in radio. I work at Power 106. So I see like how the big artists will definitely do good. And it's like we sometimes can't support the smaller artists. And, it sucks. And it's just like the lay of the land. Like we can't, as personalities, we can't do anything about it. You know what I'm saying? But, it's also that people also forget to like, you got to try to also still build a relationship. It's like anything, you know what I'm saying, with that company, because, there's like entry level things you can do with radio. You can do like the high school games, the middle school basketball like games that we have like at Power, for example, and local artists, like younger artists will come out and do it. And then they start to grow, and then we continue to support them. Sometimes it's like, they don't play my song on the radio. It's like, we never met, and it's like not that that's like mandatory, because we never met Drake, but at the same time, it's like, let's grow together. You know what I'm saying?
And it's tough because that used to be the thing, right? When radio was out in the community, it was more easier to make that statement.
Yep.
But now, since it's become so faceless and more playlist based, it's hard to make that argument because, like you said, everyone you're playing on Top 40, you've never met.
Yeah.
But y'all play them multiple times. And then the person who might see you walking down the street and shout your name, who like, man, I love your stuff, get 0 plays.
Right.
Yeah. But it has to be mutual as well. Like I see like artists have to reach out, and we have to, accept their hand, too, because it's like we can't just be like, you're not big, fuck off. It's like, okay, you're not that big yet, come to the high school. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Turn up the kids one time and then let's see what we could do after that.
Yeah.
I mean, I got in a lot of trouble because I once was like, fuck all of LA radio because they don't play local artists. I'm still banned from the.
Hey,
I'm still welcome.
My company's still mad at him. I was like, yo, we got to
but
bring
I
Jeff
used to
up.
write for LA
Hilarious.
Weekly, which again, was a place that used to cultivate the community, then got bought and like destroyed by a bunch of out of town assholes. And I feel like this is my theory on radio is. I understand they test everything and they have all, but like, you know what else is a better test for it? Like YouTube, like numbers. Like you can see these numbers of a local artist, right? So like someone like you should. I mean, I don't know if you are played every 10 minutes on KMEL or whatever, but like that would make sense. Or like in LA, like they don't play like a Draco or a Greedo
Right.
unless you're signed to a major label, and then all of a sudden then they usher you in.
Right.
And you know, that's what happens when corporate gets involved and it now becomes a system and a marketing channel. It changes everything that once was to like it's business now. You know, and it's like if you're not profitable to the business, it's going to be hard for me to leave what's profitable to my business to come support your non-profitable business, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's just what it became. And we gave a lot of that away. Like, you know, all of our independence we gave away. It's like, here, iHeart have everything.
Yeah. Real shit.
No, it's cool how you're inspired. I mean, you can, like, I was going to ask you, you know, the different, like, Bay Area artists, like, what did you take from, like, a Too Short about the independent hustle?
Short and 40 really, like, are the architects of Out the Trunk.
Yeah.
Like, that's what I knew growing up. Like, that was almost, when you from the Bay, we take pride in that. Like, I take pride in, like, I'm printing my own. You feel me? I'm slinging my own CD.
Yeah.
Like, that was a pride. It wasn't a knock to our game. Like, oh, well, you just don't have the deal. Okay. That was like, no, I'm really out here getting them off. I could see the money. I know what it looked like. I could see the profit. It's within my own ability. So they really, like, showed us how to hustle independently and how to be proud of your independence. You know, 40, 20, 30 albums deep. I'm an independent artist who got 43 albums, and I'm proud of that because 40 set a blueprint that said, hey, I'll do a double disc. I'm going to do a triple disc. It's a front and a back to it. I'm putting out everything I like. You know, they set blueprints for us to follow to where we didn't have to feel ashamed for being different by not being in a system. When you in the Bay, there's no label. You know, it's not a major market where you can come to LA and you can see every label within a block, you know, in New York where you can see every label, you can see media outlet. We don't have none of that. So we really had to take pride in being independent. Otherwise you feel ashamed. Like, man, I'm not a major artist. You might never get on radio, you know?
Right.
I mean, obviously Master P, like, comes from, you know, learned everything in Richmond.
Yep.
You know, and I don't know, I feel like most of the, if you really think about, like, hip-hop history, like, most of the great, like, art was created by independent artists, like, that had maybe a major label but like a Cash Money is an independent
Hove.
label. A Death, yeah, of course, yeah. Yeah, they were on Priority first before they were on
and
Death
all of us were independent out of necessity. Nobody wanted us, you know, and that's what came about from it. Nobody wanted us, and we took that and we made gold out of shit.
Was there anything like an executive or like an A&R ever told you that kind of was really negative that you used as motivation or inspiration?
We were just talking about this. Several, you know, I don't think people were trying to be malicious. It's just some people are tasteless and some people are disconnected culturally, so they don't know. You know, a lot of my early meetings when I was telling people like, oh yeah, I don't have a deal. I'm destroying through here. I'm destroying. You know, I had someone tell me early like, well, you're not going to be able to succeed if you don't even have like major distribution. I got a long way through independent distribution, you know, like everyone knows who I am and I'm still not under major distribution. You know, people telling me, oh, well, you don't have a hit record. And it's like, but I'm selling thousands of tickets and they're singing the songs word for word. So what's a hit record? You know, like all of these things that they only knew what they knew and they can only give me information based off the information they had. And, you know, they weren't trying to be negative, but it's like that's how it comes off when you're on the end of something, building something independently, and someone's like, no, you can't do it because of this.
Do you feel like that's because people can't necessarily put you in a box? Like, you can't be like, LaRussell's kind of like LaRussell's just LaRussell.
Right.
Right.
And that is kind of hard for some people to maybe market or see the vision or, you know, think like, oh, okay, we can do this. It's like you really have to work.
You know, I've had to tell labels with the hit thing, like, I'm not going to bring you a traditional hit record. I am a hit record.
Right.
Like, you have a LaRussell. That literally is the hit record. There's some artists who have a huge song and we're like, who the hell is this? You don't have no clue. You could walk right past them. There's no one in the culture who's going to walk right past me in the street. Everyone stops me, you know?
Yeah.
And I don't have the top 40 record. But I could walk down the street with a top 40 artist and I'm going to get stopped way more, because culturally I am the hit. That's what it is. But they miss that because it ain't on the data. It ain't in the metrics. It ain't on the streaming,
Right.
Yeah, I guess what people can't quantify is like the fact that, like you said, a major artist, you could hear their song and maybe coming from a car driving by, but who's actually invested in them because they heard it for free on Spotify.
Passive.
They heard it for free on Apple Music or even the radio, but like people really invest in you.
Yeah.
The artist, the person, they'll support you. They've gone to your house. You know what I'm saying? Your house is a venue.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like that.
I know their families.
Yeah,
they really connect with me in a completely different. Even like walking into here, like y'all all feel like y'all know me. We're able to go right into convo because it's like, man, this the homie. You feel me?
Yeah,
without
you gave me a very tight hug.
Exactly. You feel me? Like that because that's what's real. Like that's the reality, and that's what you don't sometimes get. You do an interview with a larger artist who's having like their moment, and sometimes there's a human disconnect of like, man,
They'll
are
be on
we
their phone sometimes?
Right.
Like, what
While-
are you doing?
while you're
like,
talking
then just
to
don't
them.
do it. Yeah.
that disconnect?
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about like your earlier years, like growing up, like before, the LaRussell we know right now. Tell us a little bit about you before, just growing up in Vallejo and all that. Some of your earlier past years and what it was like in your household.
I really, my parents have always been like the host of the family.
Right.
So we always had the cracking house, all the fights, all the
cousins
movies,
came
all the
over.
everybody was always at our house. We really were like the community, the neighbors, everybody. My pops would always cook. My pops always took care of everybody. So I really grew up immersed in community. I grew up on a block where all the kids was outside.
Right.
And his mama could tell me, hey,
Go
chill
home.
out. His mom, we really grew up communally that way. So that's been a lot of like, that's why my brand is the way it is. That's why I'm like this with them kids. Like all these kids, these my kids. You feel me? They not mine, but they are my kids. And that was like a great portion of my life. And then, high school, I start rapping a bit more, doing more music and learning Pro Tools, all of that, shooting videos, like every role. I've done every role in music, which is why I was able to hire my team and find people to do it because I've been the videographer, I've been the photographer, I've designed the cover art, I shot the live sessions, I mixed the live sessions, I mastered the music, I recorded, I made the beats, I wrote the song, I've set up the podcast, I've done, I put the lights up, I've done every role. Still to this day, I do every role necessary. And it really helped me get here. High school, I started battle rapping a bit, and that helped build my name and rapport. And then I had a child when I was 17, so I kind of like stepped away from music. I wasn't as fierce in it as I was prior, but I never really let it go. It's just always been in my heart. So I kind of kept building. And I ended up getting a decent job through a temp agency, and I was working there for about 5 years before I was like, I'm going after this now.
Right.
This was the aerospace
What age
job.
was this?
I got in that job. I was at UPS, then I went to FedEx, then I went to a winery, and then I got into the temp agency, like the aerospace job. I remember having my 21st birthday years there, so it had to be like 2014, probably 2014 to 2019.
Right.
Yeah.
Before that, though, what was like the initial introduction to music? Like, I'm going to do this. I want to make music. Like, when did it click for you way before all of that?
One of my earliest memories is my sister. My sister used to like write raps, and we had this boombox, and she would like, my dad always burned CDs, so we'd be listening like Knock If You Buck, and we used to just write raps. She'd be like, write a rap with me. Right. We'd rap it to my mom and my cousin in the kitchen. And I think, from that I just got an affinity for writing. And I used to just always keep a notebook. I would always be writing. I'd be in class writing.
Right.
Like I couldn't escape it. I just really enjoyed to write at that time. And then I found Lil Wayne. One of the homies put me on Wayne, and it was like bars. I used to have a notebook, just bars. Right. I never knew how to write songs then. I just knew how to write punchline.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And I just really grew like a love for writing. When I finally was able to write songs about my life, it opened my entire world up because I was like, oh, I've been using it wrong.
Right.
Like, I was just writing punchline. I didn't know that I could like express myself
And tell a
share
story.
what I'm feeling. That changed everything for me.
What was your introduction to Wayne?
Man, that's tough.
Mine was Back That Ass Up. 9-9.
Oh yeah, of course. But that's the so there's two introductions to Wayne.
Yeah.
There's an introduction to Wayne that's through culture and your parents that you have no merit in.
Right.
And then there's an introduction when you get to like dive. And mine's I think it was like the Drought 2. I remember specifically and what was the damn song? It was something on the Drought 2. My partner had an iPod. He was like one of the first people I knew with a laptop and an iPod, and he just was like, listen to this. And that was like my reintroduction to like, man, dedication mixtapes, the Droughts. Like I just got immersed.
No ceilings.
Man, this was pre No Ceilings.
Yeah.
I mean, the Carter
Carter
1 and Carter 2 were amazing.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think that was like my
Like Father, Like
reintroduction.
Son, the Birdman album is kind of amazing. Too,
I'm glad
actually.
we're like positively talking about Lil Wayne because our last guest shat on Lil Wayne so hard.
Man,
And I take
Our
Wayne slander
yeah.
personal. Like
I love Wayne so much, but I understand how someone could be like, man, this isn't the Wayne that like I remember.
Right.
You know?
No, but he was saying, let me tell you what happened. He was saying that he hated him whole career. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah, you know
what?
I
I
had
was
to
so
ask
confused.
him.
But
I said,
let
was it old Wayne or new Wayne? He like all of Wayne.
Hilarious.
Fuck Wayne.
yeah,
There's a lot of things he
he
said.
said a lot. We won't.
He
repeat
said a
them
lot.
all.
We won't
Yeah,
repeat
Who was it?
RX
RX
nephew.
Hey,
I don't even
he
know.
has his own truth.
Yeah,
I gotta
He
respect
was.
it.
He had a
Yeah.
conviction.
Yeah.
He had a
You know,
conviction. So I was
respect
like,
you know, I had a moment in my journey where I had grew a disdain for Wayne just because I started listening to everything. Like I started maturing as a human, and I'm like, damn, this nigga wasn't talking about nothing for a long time. And
I
like,
think that's
you.
what
I
his
asked him
argument
about that.
was.
He
you know, like
Yeah.
as someone who like grew up in these communities,
Right.
and grew up with homies who I seen want to be Bloods because they following Wayne and want to be gangster and want to shoot all the gun bar and shit.
Right.
Like I've seen the negative that he contributed to the community, and I had to look like, man, what are the songs where he really talked about something and gave? And out of 1,000-song catalog, you know, it's minute on this end.
It's like Georgia Bush.
And
Right.
that do bother you. Man, Tie My Hands.
That's
One
what
of
I
the
was
greatest
going to say.
records
Tie
that-
My Hands
right?
is the only one I
and
could
that,
think
and,
of.
and that's the thing. It's like if I hug you once, but I slap the shit out you 1,000 times, you know, your affinity for me is going. You're probably gonna remember me for
Right.
this. And a lot of people don't. You know, as I mature, a lot of my old favorite artists, I'm now like, damn.
Yeah.
Like, I love you because I learned how to rap to you, but when you look at the contribution, it's like, man. But he was also a kid.
Yeah,
Wayne
this
was
is
a
true.
kid.
yeah.
He was like 14, 15 when he came
Man,
out.
a kid.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I interviewed him a couple times, and he basically, what I would try to like ask him kind of like a more deep thing, and he would just be like, I don't know shit. You know what I mean? Like he was honest about it. Like, you know, because think about it, he was dropped out of school at 13 years
Yes.
old. Like,
Right.
You know, you're just like,
And he was adopted by gangsters,
Yeah.
indoctrinated to a whole
Adopted
system.
by the
who-
projects. Yeah.
It was like he gave everything he could, and I love Wayne. He gave everything he could,
Yeah.
and he contributed so much to the culture. You feel me?
Yeah,
Facts.
for sure.
But elaborate more on like Good Company. Just like when did you decide like, okay, this is gonna be my brand. I'm gonna run with this. This is gonna be, you know, the foundation to everything.
I think like 2016 was my first like imprint of like, okay, this is what I'm doing. All throughout my life, middle school, high school, I've always been really brand savvy. Like I always had groups and cliques and rap groups, and like I was always that. I was like the leader of the pack with that. And Good Company was just like, you know, one of my reinvention periods where I'm like, man, what is this next era of my creations going to be? And I was shooting music videos then and working with a lot of different artists, and Good Company was just like something that popped in my head. And I used a penny because, you know, pennies is like undervalued. You know, I was thinking then like, man, when you walk in, if you walk past $1, you'll stop and pick it up. But if you walk past a penny, you just keep going. But if you
Right.
picked up every penny you've walked past in your life, who knows how many, you know, how many pennies you would have, how much money you would have, right?
Right.
And Good Company kind of stuck with me, and I've just been building it. Since then, it's been through so many iterations of different people and different ideas, but it was always for me to just like build the community that I wanted to exist in.
Right.
How did you go from just being kind of like an aspiring artist to kind of building the level of community that you have? You know, I assume it started in Vallejo, but what were the
I
steps you
just
took?
start doing it. I literally just start doing it. I'd start making more music and releasing more music and throwing more shows, and as many, like, I didn't wait until it happened to start making it happen. You know, I wasn't one of those artists who like, I'm gonna wait till somebody book me and then I'm gonna wait for this. I started making everything happen. When 20 people wanted to see me, I was performing for 20
Yeah, I was gonna say,
people.
were there a lot of shows where like only 10, 15 people came?
Tons. I've done enough shows for only 10, 15 people to fill a stadium. You know, like tons. I never waited until my moment, you know, because I really didn't get my moment. I had to make it for myself.
What's a moment that you like felt like you arrived?
Just now, before I came here, I was just talking to Jay-Z for 2 hours in
Congrats
person
on that.
with all my niggas who came up with, who I you know empowered to
Starved
get
with.
here, and
Wow.
we chopped it up and laughed and talked about, hey, this deal was, hey, you know, this is why I did, like, real, genuine, like the most human conversations, and we hugged and we like, it's like, damn.
Wow.
You never imagine getting to that point. Not as a little black boy from Vallejo. And I got to share that with other niggas who came from cities that you don't know these places.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, but we in Jay-Z spot, chilling.
Wow. So you turned down the 500,000?
I took both.
That's what I always said I would do. Both.
That's hard.
If you worth it, you get both.
There you go. That's dope.
Where do you feel like your sense of self and your sense of confidence comes from? Like, you're very confident. It resonates on you. You're very sure of yourself. And a lot of people who are starting off independently and kind of trying to brand build and build themselves aren't sure like that. So tell us a little bit about like what it is for you that kind of lets you know, like, well, past this, we know where you are now, so obviously, but before that, I feel like you still had that confidence. Like, where does that come from?
I think a lot of it early on was ego. You know, I was just like, I just was big-headed enough to try.
Right.
And then after that phase, it became through competence. I'm confident because of my ability and the work I put in. Like, I wouldn't have this confidence if I didn't do 1,000 shows.
Right.
I wouldn't have this confidence if I didn't make 40 albums. I wouldn't have it if I didn't write thousands of songs and threw them away to make better ones, you know.
Right.
So now my confidence comes from my competence. Like, I'm really great at what I do. And I'm really sure of who I am. I'm authentic. I don't wear a mask. I don't show up anywhere and become this nigga. Like, y'all not gonna see me somewhere else and come up to me and be like, this ain't the same nigga who was in the chair. You feel me? Like, you'll never have that experience with me because it's only one me that you meet, and that's really where it stems from. Like, I know that I'm like showing up as myself, so
Right.
I don't have to, you know, I never had to second guess if I'm doing the right thing or not.
Right.
What was the moment when you decided to quit your job? Like, what was going through your head?
It was a lot of build up because I left my job in 2019, but I dropped my first album in 2018, and I started doing shows in 2018. So I probably, before I quit my job, I probably did at least 30, 40 shows, just bookings, open mics. So, you know, I built up a lot then, and I was doing all the email, reaching out, everything. And I remember one night I was just having a conversation with my daughter's mom, one of my best friends, Yaya. And I was like, man, I'm not trying to do this shit no more. Like, I don't enjoy this. And prior to that, what led to that, probably a few weeks prior, I went into work and I sat at my desk and I just started crying. Like I just started bawling. I couldn't even control it. It was just like, and I called up my brother and I'm like, man, I need to leave. I'm finna pull up. And I pulled up there and we just chopped it up. And I was like, man, I never want to have, like, I don't want this to be my life. I don't want to do this another 5, 10 years. And I used to talk to other people at the job and tell them, like, man, I'm going to go for this. And they couldn't even fathom it. You know, they're like, you're going to leave security? You know, like, they couldn't fathom it. And we had a conversation one night, and I think it was like tax return season. and it was getting like probably like $6-7 back, something like that, some small number, but enough for me to be like, I'm gonna quit and I'm gonna wiggle this. I'm finna see. And I went in the next morning and I wrote my resignation letter and I, told my supervisor, like, man, I'm gone. Like, you ain't even gotta like call or look for me. Like, I'm not gonna answer. I'm gone. And I remember getting home after that day and my mom was like, man, you back off work early? And I was like, I'm done.
Ain't no work.
ain't no more work. And I went to my room straight, start making songs, start writing songs, start getting back to work. And I remember I was sending out a bunch of messages. I would go through every blog page, every article, every write-up, and I would look up who the writer was or who the directors was, Vivo. And I'd send out messages like, yo, this is who I am. This is my album. You should check it out. If you love it, I would love whatever you can help with. And a guy from Vivo named Micah hit me back. And it was one of my first signs after quitting. Immediately, this was like 3 days after quitting. And he was like, I can't pay you, but I'm working on a pilot for Vivo. So if you be my pilot, I'll give you all the content. I can't pay you, but you can keep all the content, drop it, whatever. And I ended up going out there to do it. I was like, I'm going to just take the risk. I'm going to take this last bit of paper. And I did it. And the pilot ended up getting approved. Like, they got a series today that still, like, all the big artists be on it. And I'm the reason that got to go into fruition. But that was one of my first signs of, like, okay, this is something. The universe is giving me something. And I just kept rolling. Like, once I got that first snowball going, I kept letting it build.
That's fine.
Yeah, like your 10,000 shots theory.
Man, it's so true.
Well, I feel like because the problem is you have to kind of like plunge into the abyss, right? Like you have to be willing to take a lot of L's. You have to have a lot of posts that like nobody likes or like 30 people, whatever it is, And I think what advice would you give to a younger artist trying to kind of navigate? Because, I think a lot of people are just like.
Fail fast and don't look at the metrics. Like, that's where people get caught up and discouraged because, and still me to this day, like I was just talking to Hove and he was saying just the dopest shit. And I was like, man, thank you, because I was just having a moment a couple weeks ago because my numbers wasn't, I look at what somebody else selling that's like, bro, this nigga not nice as me. He not building what I'm building. He not building the community. Like, you're not more impactful than me. There's no way he sold 10 times more than me. And those are like vanity metrics that's not real and don't matter. And he was explaining that. And when you get caught up in that, it'll be really discouraging. It'll convince you to quit because you'll feel like you're not succeeding. And that's why you can't even look at them numbers early. Or if you do, change your perspective. If it's 20 views, if it was 20 people in this room staring at you, you'll be like, shit. If 20 people showed up to buy tickets, that's shit. That's a good, that's a good thing. It's not a negative thing. It's only negative when you got the perspective of like, that was a failure.
Yeah, I think that's 100% true. I don't think all numbers are like online are built equally. It's like if you have 100,000 followers, I'm not sure. I'm sure you probably have more, but it's like I feel like yours are heavier. You know what I'm saying? Like yours support more. You know what I'm saying?
You don't know who's in there.
Yeah.
It's like Kyrie Irving bought my album for $11,000. When I only had 10,000 followers, Wallow reposted me and I went viral. So out of that 10, there was a Wallow in there. There's a Kyrie in there. Yeah. Hove just said, man, I've been watching you for years. So out of that, it's like you don't know who's in there for you to say, I only got 100.
Right.
You only got 100. If one of them 100 got, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, you won. I found Malachi at, what was Mally at? Maybe a couple hundred. Maybe, I found him, but it was me. It's like his life, he just met Jay-Z, and it's like that all of the number, it don't say enough. Like the data don't say enough for you to justify it as a failure or a success.
Yeah, 100%.
One of the things I feel, how do you feel about the fact that like a lot of what the algorithm prioritizes is like shock based? You know what I mean? Or like it prioritizes like the dumbest shit or like kind of, and I think that has led to like kind of a widespread pollution of like culture at large.
I don't think so. I don't think the algorithm is judgmental. The algorithm is gonna feed whatever gets attention. whatever gets shared. You know, that's the reason people see me so much, because I was doing dope shit that people was like, bruh, did you see what he's doing? And it moves. The algorithm work in your favor if you're doing things that's favorable. If you just a nigga sitting on the couch posting selfies, then yeah, you're not reaching your audience because it's not entertaining. I'm not entertained. You know, but the algorithm really works for those who put in the work to earn it. Like, it's not gonna, if you're only feeding it ever so often, you're not gonna get the result you want, because it's a relationship. Like he's saying with radio, the reason all the major artists get so much radio play is because they go so many times. Like, Sony pays the radio 1,000 times versus the little indie guy who's trying to pay him once. Who you think I'm a favor? And that's how the algorithm works. It's like, it's going to favor the people who's giving it, who's mutually beneficial to it.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
When did you understand like kind of the totality of what it takes to be a modern artist? Like the marketing, the branding, kind of taking out ads.
It's been a slow progression. I knew very early, like my pops used to sell, my pops was just a hustler, he sold everything. But he really, when like bootleg DVDs and stuff was a hit, like he was really the guy, because he was the one who learned, hey, I'm finna put covers on these, I'm gonna put track lists, I'm gonna put CD cases, I'm gonna go the extra mile to make my product 10 times better, and I'm only gonna sell the highest quality version. So from the beginning of my journey, that's been in me. I've been like, okay, I'm gonna get the bet, I'm gonna have my shows be better. You come to my show, you're gonna feel different than when you go to their show. You're going to be greeted. Somebody going to take care of you. You're going to get free water. So I've always had these things instilled and understood. Like, if I want people to see me and know me, I have to have a better product. I have to figure out how to make my experience more grand. And it's just grown and grown. And as I've been able to get more chicken, it's like, oh, this is how people are scaling 10 times faster than him. He's using ad. You know, when I learned the ad game, it was like, and I learned it early in 2019. I had wrote like some songs for one of my homies, a really dope R&B project that ended up going. And I started learning the ad game, and we just seen the following start going. Then we'll do a show, and more people start coming, and it was like, oh, duh. If you got a product if you have a product that you tested with 100 people and 90 out of 100 people loved it, you should probably show it to 10,000 people. You know, if it works with 10,000, you should probably show it to 100,000. Like, if you spent so much time making this art that you love, you should probably spend triple the amount of time making sure people actually experience the art.
I remember a while ago I think you posted like that you spent as much as you made, right? Was that? Talk to me about that, because a lot of people will be like, that's maybe not the best business approach. You're not paying yourself. Whatever the people might like say that is, you know, it's not the thing to do. Just talk to me about your like thought process with all of that.
Yeah. Man, you got to really be careful to not take advice from people who aren't living the life and the career that you want.
Absolutely.
Very, very vital. Because if I would have listened to people early who told me like, man, maybe don't spend, maybe don't, I wouldn't be where I am.
Yeah.
The reason I'm independent and everyone knows who I am from Hove down is because I chose to bet on me. I chose to spend the money even though it would put me in the red because I wasn't getting the revenue back from the music yet. I chose to still book the show and bring out the full choir and the band even though they was only paying me for just me and the DJ. Like, those are my decisions.
Yeah.
And everything can't be a business decision when you're an artist or when you're a human, because when you're trying to scale a business, you're not even in a position to make that decision properly. It would take you 10 extra years. Yeah. You know, if I chose to, okay, well, let's just 30% of this, then 20% of this, I wouldn't be here right now. I had to redump everything I was earning. I had to reinvest it to make sure I could get to the next level. And sometimes that hurts you.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's like, I'm finna spend $100,000 this month, and I'm not going to get it back until April. That's a risk I'm taking. Maybe it might not be right for your business, but for my business, it makes sense. Because in April, I'm finna make $600. Yeah. So that means, I'm down in the red $100 for a couple months, but I'm finna be up by month 4. And when I get that $600, now I could go spend $5 of that. And I got my $100 back, plus I got $5 extra. And when I might not see this back till December.
Right.
But that's for me to deal with, you know, like
Yeah.
it ain't for nobody else business advice to matter because they don't have to live the life.
Yeah. Speaking of that, what you brought up Kyrie Irving earlier, I think the whole world saw that. How Kyrie he purchased the album, right, for that
Yep.
much, because you could like put in however much you want to spend. So it was 11,000, and then you turned around and gave it right back to the community. Just talk to me about that, because I was like, man, you're a better person than me, because I might have gave him maybe 111.
Hey, you know what's so dope about that too? You heard what you said. You said, man, the whole world saw that.
They did.
I'm
Yeah.
independent.
Yeah.
Who you think paid for the world to see it?
You.
Yeah, no, it's yeah.
You
Yeah.
feel me? Like that's the power of like that's
Yeah.
somebody who would have been like, man, you shouldn't spend the
Mm-hmm.
like I had to pay to market it so the world knew, and then I gave away the money that he gave me.
So you ended up in the red. From
Come
that.
on.
Yeah.
But am I in the
whole world
red
saw it.
if the world saw it?
Not at all.
Nope.
I'm not in the red at all because Super Bowl coming. And they like people who doing stuff like that.
Mm.
So now they like, hey,
In the Bay Area.
we love that you did that incredible thing. Can we come? I got my money back. You
you go.
feel me? Like
Yeah.
you people, you have to think forward with it, you
Yeah.
know? And that was something that's like great marketing, but also really me. That's
Yeah.
me. Like when the camera's off, I'm giving like that still. It's just not a rollout or a campaign, you
Yeah.
know? So this
Right.
is something that really is authentically me in my community and where I'm from.
I think it was really inspiring actually when you posted kind of what you were saying. I think where you spent like $120,000 on ads, because I think people always have the perception that it just happens like naturally, right? And like, how do you feel about having to give it to like these like tech companies that are sort of like do a lot of like nefarious shit or whatever, and they've obviously kind of changed the character of the Bay, like because like they kind of do control the marketing of everything. Like what we
Yeah.
see is controlled by like 3 or 4 different companies.
Yeah. I don't feel no way because they created the infrastructure for it to exist. You know, like I wouldn't be here without Meta. I mean, I'd be here. I would
Yeah.
figure out a way, but I wouldn't be here without Meta. I built a lot of my business through Instagram. Still to this day, I sold a lot of albums through Instagram. I wouldn't be here without X. I wouldn't be here without YouTube.
Yeah.
You know, I got 5,000 YouTube videos up. They pay me every month. So I don't have a disdain for the Spotify pays me every month. You know, I got a 40 album catalog, so I don't have a disdain towards them. I'm grateful for the contributions they made. Anything I'm upset with, I go build my own.
That's cool.
Now that you are in like you're still young, obviously, but now you have some years under your belt. Do you have like now OGs or people you looked up to when you were younger, like come to you and ask for like, yo, nephew, like how'd you do that? Like just put me on to this, put me on to that. Have things kind of like flipped in that way?
For certain. And I'm so grateful that I get to like champion my OGs and take care of them. You know, I put Richie Rich on shows and paid him. I don't ask for favors. I paid Juvie for shows. I paid 40 for shows. I paid Fab, Kamaya. I don't get favors from nobody. Like I go in, like I want to take care of them. I feel like that's a due diligence for me for them paving the way. And it's a beautiful thing for me. Like I'm super grateful. And even like I said, with this convo with Hove, like there was context of like, man, we need your guidance for this new thing that we're doing. Like this is why this matters to me. And that's special. That mean a lot to me.
That's dope.
Did you expect it to get like as far as it is? Like, did you expect it like to get like you probably one of the most influential, I can't even say just rapper, like people of our generation. Like, did you expect it to get like that? Like, I gotta know, and I know everybody else wanna know. Cause I mean, you have this confidence, so of course you knew like I'm gonna do what I gotta do because I'm putting the money and the time and the effort into it. But did you expect it, nigga, to like really go? You know what I mean?
You can't, because it's all unreal. It's
Right.
like, it's so unreal that you can't even imagine it. Like, I knew I would be successful. You know, I put too much time in and spent
Right.
too much money to not succeed.
Right.
I knew that was a given, but the level at which it occurred and it's still occurring, like it ain't announced yet, but I'm performing at Super Bowl. You feel me?
Wow,
Like,
the truth
Bruh,
hurts.
hold on.
like
We
we
get it
didn't. We
first.
didn't.
Hold on.
They created a position that didn't even exist
For you.
me to be. One, I'm doing the tailgate, the pregame show, which
Fire.
like Post Malone and them usually do like this. I'm doing that. But secondly, I'm doing all the in-game music at the stadium with my band and my choir. That wasn't even a position prior. This is something that was created and developed for us, that we
Right.
built with the team.
Right.
So to go from this little black boy in Vallejo listening to E40 and Too Short to that, hell nah.
Right.
Like I can't even act like I've imagined that.
Right.
I always knew I would be successful, but I never knew to this magnitude.
Yeah. And you're still very, very, very humble with everything that you've succeeded and like have going on. And I think that's dope because it could have got to your head. It gets to a lot of people's head, but I can feel the
Man.
genuineness.
And you've written
Yeah.
a couple books too, huh?
Yeah.
What inspired you to write those?
The first one is called The Bullshit We Tell Ourselves. And really, I wrote that book in a day with my daughter's mom. Because I be having these spurts of ideas where I'm like, nigga, I'm gonna do this. And I gotta do it just to prove myself like capable. So we wrote that one in the garage, and it was just like, man, I was learning a lot. I was listening to a lot of Sadhguru, and I was learning a lot about myself and just people. And I wanted to write a book about some of the gems I was learning on, like the excuses people make to why they can't do it. So that was my first one. And then I wrote Limitless, I think in like 2022 or 23. And Limitless was just me maturing and trying to share the information I was gathering. Like when I wrote The Bullshit We Tell Ourselves, I didn't have the communication ability I did when I wrote Limitless for someone to receive the message properly. So Limitless was my second offering of just like, man, I hope this helps someone on their journey of life the way these gems helped me. And now I'm working on 2 more. I got a 3rd book that's going to be coming called Leave Empty. And then we're also working on like an artist blueprint, an independent,
Right.
blueprint, because when I was indie coming up, I had 2 books that helped me, Ari Herstand's book and Donald S. Passman's book. But those books aren't written through us. Like I was able to conceptualize it because I'm a certain type of nigga, but I really wanted to write a book where it's like, nah, my homies could take this and get the game
Right.
too and understand it. It's not from like a 60-year-old white man who's a lawyer,
A lawyer, yeah.
We need
Right.
it. We need it the way we talk and the way
Yeah.
we walk, so it could be gathered. Like I've explained ads to people that had them literally after like, oh, they just didn't get it before because
Right.
nobody was explaining it in a way that we communicated.
Honestly, I
I
feel
don't
like I
get it.
got it, and I didn't get it until you explained it.
Right.
was
I
just
don't
seeing
really
your
get
shit.
the ads thing.
Well,
Really?
You got to put me on.
Yeah, ads is helpful. Ads is helpful.
No, but if you think about it, like back in the day, like I mean, every record label would take out ads in just magazines.
Yeah.
That's how the magazines survived.
Yeah.
Every.
Yeah.
Like it's like why ads in today's landscape. Imagine you left out of here and you driving home, and on your way home, every 10 minutes you seen a billboard with my face on it. By the time you get home, you're gonna be like, who is this nigga?
Right.
I need to listen to him.
Right.
That's what ads is today,
Okay.
essentially.
Yeah.
And it's like if you have a great product, why would you not? Ads is so good that even if you don't have a great product, you'll reach a market because
Right.
it's like I seen this nigga 10 times on the way home.
Right.
Imagine you turn the radio on then too, and they like, hey, LaRussell, like it's imprinting so many impressions in your mind that naturally you end up like. And I'm big on non-intrusive ads. Like when I first started running YouTube ads, I was working with a company called Create. And they were doing like TrueView, and I was like, bro, I don't want that shit. Like I need to find, and I end up finding out discovery ads because I'm like, people need to find me organically so they can have a choice. But once they find me, I know they gonna fuck with me.
Is
Right.
TrueView the ads that play like unwanted? I guess like
Yes.
while you're watching something,
Unskippable ads.
and then they just come on, and you're like, "Fuck! What the fuck is this?"
Yep.
Okay, yeah, just to clarify. for
And
everybody.
so what I end up learning, because at first I was like, I don't like TrueView. I would only do Discovery. And then eventually I end up running TrueView because I'm like, let me see the results. And I start getting niggas in the YouTube comments like, this the first time I ever seen an ad, and I became a fan. And I learned that when you have a great product and you hit the right market, no one cares how it got to them. They just happy it got to them.
Right.
Like, you only hate an ad when it's some shit you don't want. But if it come on and it's a nigga on there slapping and it's going, you happy. You like, what is this? You feel me? So like the beautiful thing about great content and why ads work, you don't just run ads behind anything. You run ads behind things that are proven. You'll never see an ad from me that behind a piece of content that I'm just testing out. Right. I only run ads behind things that's already went viral organically that I know people love.
That makes sense.
How did you take inspiration from like Nipsey Hussle? In terms of like Proud to Pay and stuff like that. Man,
offer base is an evolution of Proud to Pay. I still do Proud to Pay things, you know. But how I end up coming up with offer base is Nip did the $100 album. I literally remember I was on my bike riding around American Canyon and I was just like, man, how can I do a $100 album? You know, like how can I have that same effect but without charging people $100? And I literally was like, man, I'm just not gonna charge people nothing. I'm just let them give me whatever they think it's worth. And I went live with that for I had an album called For What It's Worth. And I went live and people just start buying it. And it was like, oh. And then I started doing tickets in that same format. And then I built technology around it. And now I have offer base where like it's like a bid system. People could say, hey, I want to come to the show. I'll spend $50. And I can say yes or no. They could say I only got $1. I could say yes or no. So I just added technology, but it's a revolutionized version of Proud to Pay. So the whole system that I built my brand on is inspired by Nip.
That's cool.
It's dope. I have a question because we asked this on our interview with Pilo, and it went viral. So I want to get your opinion of it. What do you consider the Bay?
The Bay Area is made up of 9 counties.
Okay.
Every city within those 9 counties are the Bay.
Okay. Because he said a bunch of like...
He was claiming Stockton.
Like...
Sacramento.
Stockton and Sac's not the Bay.
He claimed a lot. But really
they are
viral.
Cousins. But, see, and that... So the thing is like, you have Bay Area and then you have Bay adjacent.
Okay.
Right? And these are places that like, we can still pull up and pop it, and these are our cousins, but they're not within the geographic style of the Bay Area, but they are very, very Bay Area adjacent. They got our energy, they love us, They listen to our music, they came up on our stuff. Right. You know, it's not in the Bay, but it's still Bay adjacent. So, you know, there's the Bay, there's the Bay Area, which is the area within the Bay. Right. And then, you know, there's all of the adjacent places around it.
What do you do if the Bay Area adjacent people claim the Bay?
Right. Because it went crazy. The post went crazy. It was kind of
LA.
I don't really experience it. Like, you know, niggas that I know from Stockton is proud to be from Stockton. And they know that they love our stuff and we share the same culture and we go out there and we go stupid, but they proud to be from Stockton. Niggas I know from Sac is proud to be from Sac. You know, I don't ever experience people outside of it trying to claim it or rep it. You know, the people who are within, you know, our means want to be a part of the Bay, and sometimes niggas trying to exclude them, but it's like, bro, they us.
Yeah, there's a lot of exclusion in LA. It's probably why we think that way.
Yes,
because it's everything.
That's how it is
LA.
in the Bay too. But you know, that's the old way that a nigga like me, I'm trying to rid it. That's why I'm going to all these high schools and rocking with the kids and rocking in the community. Because it's like, why are we doing that? What do we gain from trying to exclude somebody from history and the movement that they want to be a part of and that they are a part of? Right. You know, like they have their contributions.
Right. I think that's what Pilo was saying too when he answered the question. I think he was just saying like everything is Bay cultured and inspired. That's what he actually said, but it just went up. So I wanted, from you being from the Bay, you know, one of the faces of the Bay, I wanted to get your opinion on what you considered the Bay.
Yeah, 'cause it was from a question that we ask every guest, and it's what's your unpopular truth, meaning that what is something that you know in your heart to be true, but other people might disagree with.
And yeah, that's a tough. I feel like if you within our 9 counties, you in the Bay, but our adjacent cousins, is like they count because our culture is so strong that you can go all the way up to Eureka and Ukiah and Clear Lake, and they rock with it. They came up on us. Portland. You know, it's like, they're not from the Bay, but they're adjacent to us. They still our cousins, and they love us, and they rep our region and our culture too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We could ask some like lightning round questions if that's cool with you.
Let's go.
Yeah, all right, let's do it. All right. Top 5 Bay Area slang words.
Yay. Yeah, what I mean? Yanking, that's me. Saucy. Chicken.
I know you're a Mac Dre fan, so you become the genie of the lamp, and you get 3 wishes. What are the 3 wishes?
I'm gonna wish I can never run out of money. I'm gonna wish I don't have to fly and I could time travel.
That's a good one.
And I'm gonna rid homelessness.
Nice.
Where would you want to time travel?
Wherever I gotta go. I just don't like flying.
Do you like
I gotta go to
driving?
New York and I could just.
Just like yeah.
Do you like driving?
I used to. I don't really enjoy. I was like, when I first started, I used to have to drive to LA in that van,
Me.
do shows, all that. Like I did all that. So now that I could like, I've earned a life where I have a driver. You know,
Right.
it's like, no.
Hell no.
My day's coming for a driver.
Yeah.
I need somebody to drive me from here to Bakersfield
Come
for
on,
these interviews.
manifest it.
What are your top 5 LA albums?
Doggy Style, Chronic 2001, Good Kid, Mad City. Do we get to count Get Rich or Die Trying as an LA album?
I don't think so.
No.
Really?
But, no.
No.
But it's
I mean,
incredible. The beats.
it's Dre.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah, but-
Dre.
Give it
I
honorable
wish
mention.
we could. I wish we
Okay.
could.
We'll give it
Honorable
Can't clap.
mention.
What? Yeah. yeah.
I would
Honorable
claim the fuck
mention.
out
I'm
of it.
gonna go YG My Crazy Life.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go documentary.
What's the most valuable bit of advice you've ever received?
The most valuable? That's tough. I'm gonna give Russ an honorable mention on just reminding niggas to build their catalog, because my catalog has really like been a lifeline for me, and I've been able to, like, my team get paid every month.
Right.
My daughter got royalties. My mama got royalties. My daddy got royalties. I'm able to fans. I got fans who earn royalties and songs like that have made thousands of dollars from being a LaRussell fan. So I'm gonna say, build your catalog.
And what's your unpopular truth?
My unpopular truth. Unpopular truth.
It's like something that everyone thinks is popular, but like they think it's true, but it's not. Is that what it is, Jeff? Yeah, that's what it is.
Yeah.
Huh? We do this every episode. I
think you explained it well, Free.
Okay.
It's tough. It's like one of those
So, my latest one is I don't think grown men should wear shorts at night other than Adam Sandler. But I think Adam Sandler's earned the right to wear shorts wherever he wants to go, any time of day.
I'm gonna say that Hove is not who the internet tries to make him out to be. Like there's been so many slanderous campaigns around who Hove is, and including myself. Like, I've added to that pot through my experience, and just to have conversations and meet. Like, it's funny. My mama, I was telling her I'm going to meet Hove, and she was like, "Man, I don't know. I'm worried. You seen all those YouTube videos?" And I told her,
That sound like
What are they like?
my
That he's
mama.
like the
I had
Illuminati or something?
Illuminati, yeah.
I messaged her and I said, people on YouTube are telling the story from the loser's perspective. The people who didn't do it can only comment on the people who did it. And I think it's very important to get direct context. Like, after we spoke today and we talked about the situation with me, and he brought it up and was like, man, this is how this is this. And it's like, I felt so bad for adding to the bullshit on his plate that the labels, and they already, like, this is a free black man who chose to, hey, I'm gonna build my own DSP. I'm gonna build my own distro. I'm gonna give my niggas the keys. And he's been shitted on so much by us, by his own community, for just being courageous and bold and trying, that it's like, man, we have to, sometimes we gotta sit back and just shut the fuck up and let Muhammad Ali be Muhammad Ali.
True. I think we take a lot of ubiquitous people for granted. We just always seen them. They're around. they must be evil.
You don't
right?
even get to understand
Yeah.
the impact of like what we experiencing and what we witnessing.
Yeah.
Who helped Obama get in office? Who helped us get the first black president? Who Obama called? Hove brought that home.
True. And Young Jeezy.
We all got to experience a black president for the first time. And this a nigga who's, hey, I need to bring this home.
Yeah.
Like, do you understand how insane that is?
Facts.
For us to be like, this nigga the Illuminati. Like, bro, and I feel so bad
People
for
been
him.
saying it for years.
I feel so because you
Yeah.
know how hard it is for niggas to shoot arrows at you.
I mean,
and
look how
shoot bullets at
Drake
you
is.
and
Drake can't
slap you and
yeah.
never say nothing.
Yeah.
And all you doing is trying to provide niggas. I'm putting black people on the Super Bowl stage. All you doing is trying to provide niggas with opportunity. Like, you made it your life purpose to like propel your people.
Facts.
Man,
Even Latinos, he put Bad Bunny on the Super Bowl.
bro,
That's
he
huge.
looking out.
Especially this year. That's huge.
Think about how many Super Bowls it's been. They on Super Bowl 60. We just now getting the
Damn.
looks.
Yeah.
We just now getting the looks. They on
Facts.
Super Bowl 60.
Yeah.
It's true.
Yeah, and people complain about everything, right? They were like,
And
Kendrick
niggas
wasn't
mad at
good
that.
enough. Yeah,
Oh.
like they're like, oh, it had to be Lil
God.
Wayne. You're like,
God.
yeah.
You feel me? And it's not just him, but just like when we got leaders who doing great things, sometimes we gotta like leave our little petty opinions and comments out the way, because it's like you're a witness. You're not even a real witness.
Right.
You're a YouTube witness. You know, like you don't know.
Yeah.
You're not in the rooms. You don't get to have that conversation. People don't even bring that to you.
Yeah.
You know, and I think it's important, even though he's high enough to like not let it bother him, that still hurt, because the nigga's still a human.
Facts.
And that still hurt. It hurt to see your brother shoot an arrow who like, why? You know?
Well, I think people feel that once someone's rich, then they're no longer a human being, and that they don't have like real emotions, right?
Bro,
Right.
it ain't even when they rich. As soon as they perceive you as above where they are. Like,
Yeah,
I
that's a
get
good point.
slander and hate, and I'm me. I'm the nigga at the school with the kids smiling and
Yeah.
you know, and
Dancing.
there's still someone who has a
Yeah.
problem who like, nah, this ain't real. You don't really care. You know, and it's like,
We're
Does
like,
that ever hurt you?
we have
Like,
a
you're-
cynical society.
I'm a
at this
human.
point.
Yeah.
and I'm a human who's like, I'm from where I'm from still, and I am who I am. Like, that don't ever leave you, you know. And that's what you resort to sometimes. Like, when I'm not in my high and mighty space, it's a different, you know.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
you,
Yes.
like
Yeah.
it
To have
take.
a nigga
Of
moment
course,
real quick.
I got
Yeah.
children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I got a mama and family. Like,
Yeah.
of course, that don't not bother no one. You feel me? But we have to always take the high road. But it's like,
It's true.
when you a nigga who made $1 billion, you don't even gotta fight for your people no more. You could walk away and just live your life. But a nigga still choose to, because it's like, nah, I have to do this regardless of how they treat me and what they say about me.
Yeah. If something goes wrong with rappers, like, yo, Jay-Z, bail him out. You know, I feel like
But I think he does, and he just doesn't talk about it
I mean,
publicly.
the 21 Savage
Right.
thing,
Yeah.
you know, I don't even think he wanted to make that public, and then that came out, you know, and it's like,
Cause he care.
yeah. That was just strictly a culture move. He had no involvement.
Yep.
with
He's like secretly very like I've said this before in the podcast, but like one time I wrote an article about the California wildfires, and I got an email from Rock Nation, and they were like, Jay-Z wants to speak with you. He liked your article.
Oh.
You know, it never happened, but like I mean, it was actually good. You know, obviously I would take the lunch
Yeah.
with Jay-Z,
Yeah.
but I was like, you know what I mean? But like
Yeah.
that's weird. I mean, it's not weird. It just shows how smart he's like.
He's watching.
He's
Yeah,
watching
he's watching.
things. Yeah, yeah.
And
yeah.
you can't watch and not be affected.
Yeah.
You know, you just have to take a different route, because it's like, man, I mean too much, you know, to allow that to shake me. But it's gonna always rattle you. Like, you know, we humans who just happen to make it. And I try to tell people that as much as possible. Like, well, whoever the fuck you think I am is not who I am. I'm a nigga who worked really hard and made it. That's why I'm on this stage. Not because I'm the nigga you think I am when you see me and you have this vision of what happened, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, no one ever sees like the 20,000 hours that you put in.
No
like,
one
the late
sees the
nights,
air
yeah.
mattress deflating in the middle of the night and you crying on New Year's because you're not where you want to be, right?
Yeah.
They just see you're on Super Bowl, and it's like, yeah, I worked really, really, really hard. It wasn't magic.
Do you feel like luck plays any role in just like who makes it in life, or is it all just you think something?
Yeah,
that you will?
but I think luck comes to those who work for it.
Yeah, For sure.
Like you build up luck.
Yeah.
Like I did 1,000 shows, so I was lucky enough to be chosen for this one big opportunity.
Right. Yeah.
But if I didn't do 1,000, I wouldn't have been chosen. But yeah, I think your work makes you lucky.
Where do you see yourself in 5 years, 10 years, and 20 years?
I think I'll be like a fairy godfather. Like you'll just hear about a whole bunch of dope, really great things happening, and you're gonna be like, of course. You know,
The hidden hand. Sprinkle me.
Right? It's like,
LaRussell struck again.
You know, I have this idea, you know, and I'm finna try to get a bunch of brands to back it, but like I want to do what I did with the Kyrie shit, but with $1 million, like $1 million community relief fund. Like I gave that 11,000. I really gave away about 17,000. You know, like niggas don't know, you know, beyond that. But I gave that away, and I called these people personally and heard their stories and read their story. I had 6,800 submissions for that community relief fund. And I really want to try to give away I'm going to give away $1 million to a community relief fund, you know, and that's one of my goals before I'm gone. Like, we have to do that, and I'm going to do it publicly, and I'm going to let people see and witness. And, like, I feel like all these companies, like you were saying, these Metas and them that has such a big play, that put so much in, it's like y'all have to put into the pot to revitalize the culture that you've taken from.
Truth hurts.
Yeah. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate. Oh yeah, I was gonna ask you. Got a new album coming out. So by the time, you gotta talk about plug your album. Yeah.
Something's in the water.
How many albums are you gonna put out this year?
I don't know yet. This one for sure, and then I got another that I really, really love. I'm sitting on like 10 albums right now, unreleased, that I really enjoy. Like, they all got their own. They're with different producers that I love. So I'm not sure yet. I'm just I'm flowing this one out. This is the first time I've worked a project this long and this much and this intentionally. And you know, I had a conversation with Lil Jon as we was making it, and I told him, you know, I'm gonna really give this one a shot, because, you know, he gave me a lot of his work and energy, and I feel like it's deserving of that.
What's special about this one for you?
Lil Jon produced it.
Oh, okay. So this
This
is my ghetto report card
the
for
entire album. You
That's
know,
dope.
and
Shout
like
out to
Lil Jon
Lil
made some of our biggest songs to come out the region, and to give me a chance to have that opportunity is like, we haven't heard an album produced by Lil Jon in so long.
He's
and
back
I
in
got
his
one
bag.
top to bottom, and I documented the entire thing, and it was just, it's where he came to my home, you know, like, it's special because it's special.
I heard some shit he did with Pitbull. It sounds like we're back in 2005. Like, we back, baby.
Yeah, we back.
It's 2006 again.
Oh God,
that's dope.
Well, thank you
how
for
we
coming
long
through.
for the past.
Gratitude. I appreciate it.
That's good. Truth hurts. Shout out Gold Diggers.
Truth hurts. Shout out Gold Digger.
Shout out Gold
Like,
Diggers.
share, and subscribe.
Who Gold Digger? That's the studio?
Yeah.
Shout out Gold Digger.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That was great. Y'all are great.
Oh man, I'm so glad.
You're great.
Wow.
That was great, bro.